the tutorial for Chapter 29 in your beginning AutoCAD workbook. Okay, so in Chapter 29 we're going to learn about blocks, how to create them, how to insert them, how to modify them, and how to use them with leaders. So a block is a group of objects that get converted into one object. So you could have a symbol, like a transistor or a bathroom fixture or a window. Those are all examples of things that might be made into a block. A block makes your file size smaller than if you just grouped a bunch of objects and copied them. So you can create a whole library full of blocks that you can drop into your drawings. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is let's create a block. So I just drew just these random little bits. So we want to go to Insert, then we have a block panel. We have block definition. So we want to do create block. We'll talk about write block after. We want to do create block. So let's give it a name. I'm just going to call it block 1. Demo. Okay, base point. Let's pick a base point. And I'm going to say I want the center of my circle to be the base point. Okay, what do I want to put into the block? So objects, I want to select them. And then it says, do you want those pieces that you just selected? Do you want to leave them and create a block? Do you want to take those ones and turn them into the block itself? Or do you want to delete those and just have a brand new block? So I'm going to do the one that we use mostly is delete. And then again, you can say whether it's allowed to be exploded after you insert it, if it has annotative properties, how the scaling on it works. Scale specifies whether or not the block is prevented from being scaled or stretched. And if it was a piece of hardware or something you were going to buy, maybe you want to associate a hyperlink to it. You can do all that stuff in here. So for now, I just picked that I wanted the center point. I selected my objects. I said I want it deleted and I want it to be allowed to explode. Okay, so what I had drawn there is gone. So let's figure out how to put blocks into our drawing. So we created a block. When you create a block, it only lives in this drawing file. If you wanted to create like a library of blocks, I'm just going to draw something here just to have something on the screen. If you wanted to create a library of blocks, that's when you would go create block, write block, and it's the very same thing except you're going to pick where you want to save it. Okay, so let's say we have a bunch of blocks created. Let's go to insert. So you can either type in insert or you can go to the actual tool and it'll show you the blocks that are with this drawing. Okay, and then you just drop them where you want it to be. We don't want to scale it or anything. So that's create and insert. It goes through how to redefine a block. So select the block editor. So block editor. And it says what block do you want to redefine? So let's say block 1 demo. Okay. And then it says, okay, go ahead and you can make your changes. So this is just your same properties and ribbons palette that you always have. So for some reason, let's say I wanted to make that green, and I wanted to make it a hidden line. So once I make my changes, then I can say close editor, and it's going to say changes you made have not been saved. Do you want to save them? Yes, save them. So now you can see it's changed the block that I've already made. To keep your files clean, there's a command called purge. So if you have a bunch of unused blocks, layers, materials, line types, dimension styles, any of that stuff, you can get rid of it all, anything that wasn't used. So for now, we just want to purge our blocks. So I'm going to say purge checked items. And it's going to say, do you want to purge Arctic block? So yes, and yes. This is the one we had made. We're not using it in the drawing, so yeah, go ahead and purge it. And close. So now when we go to insert, we don't have any blocks there at all. And the last thing that they talk about is multi-leader and blocks. So when you do your drawings, you're going to want to have those balloon callouts. So to create those, we want to go to our Annotate tab, our leader panel, the little flyout. We want to create a new style. Let's call it balloon. You can make it annotative if you want. All those things are there. We're going to go on the Content tab. We want our multi-leader type to be a block. And then it has some predefined blocks in here. So do you want a slot, a triangle? What do you want? We're just going to say circle. We're going to leave color by layer. Going to leave our scale set to 1. And we're going to say OK. So balloon, set current, close. So now if I went to make a multi-leader, click where I want the arrowhead to be, click where I want the landing to be, and then a block editor is going to pop up. So I could type a number in here to match my bill of material, and that's all one piece now. And your other leaders are still in there. So that's how you create a balloon for your bills of materials. And let's say you had a few of those around. Let's say you were pointing to, I don't know, maybe you were pointing to a screw and a nut and a washer. This is when you can use the collect multi-leader. Okay, so it says which ones do you want to collect. Select them in the order that you want them to display. So if I want 6 first, I'm going to pick that first. And then just place it where you want it to go. Okay, so that's everything for lesson 29. That's the end of the tutorial for chapter 29.